3 years ago, the London artist Tinie Tempah exploded on the music scene and took control of the charts. Well, after a long wait, he's about to release his second album and a new single, Children of the Sun.
Both hands in that Bible, I'm next in line for that title. You had nothing to do, I was idle. When we're in the studio with Tiger.
Well, that pretty much confirms a meteoric rise from the Aylesbury estate in southeast London to superstardom. And to talk more about that and more, Tinie is here. Thanks very much for coming in. So did you feel pressure with this second album?
Not so much. It's actually here. I got you one.
Oh, thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you. Nice
no problem. A little bit of pressure towards the end. I think after the success of the first album, considering nobody really knew who I was before that, I mean, I know I came on the show a little bit earlier on in my career because of a campaign for against knife and gun crime, but after the first album I saw it as an advantage, you know, in the sense that I had so much more scope and reach than I did the first time round, so there was a bit of added confidence. It's only when you finish the album that you start to think, well, people are about to hear it now, and then that's when I started feeling pressure. But I guess a bit of pressure is good, though. And
your experiences, I suppose, have been very different this time round than it has been the first time round, because you talked about before about the influence of London on your lyrics and growing up on the Aylesbury estate and what have you. Obviously, you're not on the Aylesbury estate anymore.
No.
So how does that affect the kinds of things that you talk about?
Do you know what? I just feel like, especially after the success of the first record, becoming more of an international artist, I started to realise how much London was a big part of my identity, especially when you go around the rest of the world, and especially America, where there's so many rappers. You know, the one thing that really gave me that edge and made me stand out a bit more was, you know, being from London. So the more and more I travel and I see how different the rest of the world is, the more I feel kind of obliged to talk about London, the surroundings, and it's always great.
But London's changed a lot since you were growing up, and you talk about living on the estate and looking across the road and seeing these detached houses, and it was an inspiration to you. But London itself has changed a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. At the minute, especially East London, where we did the Olympics, you know, there's so much gentrification going on and people are moving about, so much more redevelopment when it comes to buildings. I think even more of a kind of hipster, kind of universal culture in East London, where I stay a lot of the time.
And talking of the Olympics, you of course took part in the closing ceremony. Was that a big moment for you?
It was a big moment, and to do it in East London as well, somewhere where you wouldn't really expect. You know, it's such a significant moment to have the best of British in one place.
Yeah, so when do we think we'll be expecting album 3? I know it's very early to be
Oh, you're putting pressure on me again. You spoke about pressure. I'm going to say maybe a year, but for now it's all about demonstration. It's out Monday, and I can't wait for everyone to hear it.
All right, brilliant. Well, Tinie, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, there was some